Hello guys and girls, I'm DreamlesSleep and today we're gonna start off a new Let's Play. So today we're gonna be playing Masters of Orion. This is a game I've been playing in a little bit for the last few weeks and I'm actually really liking this. And it's not a very well known game, but I think it's a little unknown gem, so I thought I would do a Let's Play of it. So we're gonna hop into single player. I've played around with it a little bit, though not too much yet, so I can't offer any in-depth analysis, but I think it will be fun to just show off this game for a bit. Let's see, new game. And I've already kind of decided what race I'm going to play, and will be the Meklar.
Coexisting in a sprawling, jumbled network filled with incessant chattering voices and signals, the Meklar Combine is an artificial ecosystem of AIs from the planet Meklon. While most Meklar have distinct cybernetic bodies to allow them to interact with their environment, many reside as programs and subroutines of the main Combine cycle. Ruled by the Overseer routine, they are industrious, capable of producing infrastructure and large fleets in a very short time. But the constant buzz of opinions and endlessly iterating cycles of application requests and updates make them erratic and unpredictable.
So yeah, we're going to be playing as the Meklar, which are a cybernetic race, which I think they look absolutely amazing, which is why we're going to play as them. We're going to play as the badass cybernetics. And so we get two bonuses. We get industrialists, which gives us a starting technology physics, and it gives us an extra 25% of production from population. And then we are cybernetic, which halves our food consumption, and it also gives us the ship improvement auto repair from the start. So I especially like the less food consumption about this race, because in this game I found so far that early expansion is really the way to go, and less food consumption really helps with that. So let's get started. We're gonna play on a large map. Circle Galaxy is fine. Post warp, all that is fine. So let's get started.
Bolted onto the surface of Meklon, the Meklar Combine's main cycle ran endlessly through uncountable revolutions. In time, a relative order was established over the dizzying cacophony of individual thought, as it became an orderly blend of truncated individuality, advancing the Combine's inscrutable objectives. This new, streamlined awareness came with a sudden realization, one that now turns the Meklar towards the rest of the galaxy. There is still much to be optimized.
There is still much to be optimized, and optimize it we shall. So you start every game with a small fleet with a colony ship, a few scouts and a frigate. So since it seems like we're starting in a relatively central position, so we have a lot of other systems around us, I'm actually gonna split up my fleet, scout in all directions. I'm going to keep my colony ship with the main planet for now, keep it safe. I'm just gonna send my other ships in different directions and see which of these systems is the most viable for our first colony. So you will stay in guard here. Meklon has a space system. Your first planet automatically has a what's it called actually? Starbase, so that will help defend it against incoming attacks. So as long as I keep my colony ship next to the planet, the starbase will defend it. So now let's pick some production. So since we start with physics, we automatically know how to build automated factories, which give us 2 extra production. So we're just gonna start building that right away. Pick some research.
Please select a new upgrade.
We will. So there's 2 ways to go. I think government or biology are really the things you want to get into first. You could go into government, and get a laboratory first, get some extra research, or you could go straight for biology and get the extra growth buildings, which I think is what I will do this time. So we're gonna go for biology. Basically our strategy from the get-go is gonna be to really quickly expand and see if we can get a head start that way. So actually I think this game also, one of the things I like about it is it looks really, really beautiful. I really like the graphic style they went with. And also I like the actual realism of how long it takes to actually explore space. So as you can see, once you get to like a warp point, it can take a couple of turns to get to the next system. So that really gives you the idea that you're actually, you know, in a vast environment. Let's see what we found. This is tundra, I think. Yeah, it's not too great, though it is large, and we can upgrade planets later in the game by terraforming. Let's see, toxic, that's not viable for now. Let's see, you can go... Let's go over here. It's also a toxic planet, that's not very useful. And you can know that I haven't scouted this, but whenever there's another planet within your initial system, it usually is a gas giant. So I will scout it out eventually, but it's probably worthless at the moment. Well, it's not entirely worthless, but we will discover that later. So another tundra biome. It's not too great, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna send this scout over here. And then you will first battle the pirates. I'll just auto resolve, so it should be an easy victory. And then I want to know what this planet is. So if nothing turns up here, I might start sending my colony ship to this tundra planet. It's not great, but it is large, so it will eventually be able to grow quite a few colonists, and that will help with our expansion. This looks Terran world. That's actually pretty good. It's only medium, abundant minerals. I think I'm gonna colonize this. It's not too big, which is a bit of a shame. Though on the other hand, Terran worlds really offer quick growth, and that's really important in the early game. So let's see, for now you can build me one frigate until the next until we have the next research done, and then with that research we will be able to build farms. I thought I already said... Okay, there we go. My fleet needs orders. For now it will guard this planet. And you can just start scouting all these planets. Deserts, alright. Haven't discovered too many great planets yet, but these tundra planets we will definitely be able to settle in the early game.
Research complete. The Combine has been successfully
Great,
upgraded.
thank you. So let's see. This is the technology tree by the way, and it's really quite extensive. There's a lot of technologies to go through. There's a lot of interesting things. So here you have planetology, which will allow you to construct planets. Let's see, I'm not sure what terraforming is. I think, yeah, this is terraforming with genetic mutations, which is really good. Allows you to upgrade your planets. So I think we're gonna make an early dash to private funding, which will give us some great science buildings. And then after that we're gonna make a dash straight to planetology, which will allow us to really get our planets going and our civilization to really have a strong foundation. This might change as we meet our neighbors, because depending on how aggressive our neighbors are, we might have to get a bit of military mixed in there as well. And so far, out of all the space-related games that kinda do this style, where you have a strategy, empire building type game, I think this one I like the most. It reminds me the most of like a classic Civilization game, basically. And I think it hits all the notes just right.
One alert unattended. Displaying relevant.
So there's an anomaly here which I can scout, and it will give me either money or some other things. Sometimes it gives you like an extra scout or an extra frigate. Might be interesting to check out relatively soon. I'm gonna send my scout over here, see what's over there. So this is the direction the pirates came from, right? Oh, there's a pirate over here as well, so I kinda wanna know what's up over here. Now Meklar 2 just grew. Also produced the frigate we put into production. So we're gonna go with biospheres because it gives us 1 food and 1 research, and we don't really need a lot of food playing as the Meklar, because they already use less food anyway. Let's see, where will we put you? You can actually scout out the anomaly for now.
Overseer, this one has data.
Yes. So I'm kind of skipping all of the advice things. That's because I've played through the beginning of the game a couple of times now. So I really don't need the initial advice anymore. So our colony ship has reached the Terran planet, so we're gonna colonize. Whenever you colonize, you get this nice little reel of the colony ship actually settling on the planet. And I must say the graphics in this look absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna immediately go for hydroponic farms. Actually, there's no production at the moment anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But as soon as we have enough money to buy it, we will just buy it. So that's another thing in this game. It takes a long time to get your colony set up, especially early on in the game. Later in the game we will be able to build like civil transports which will allow us to ship population from one planet to another. An arid world. That could be interesting to settle. It's not great, but it's not too bad. And radiated. That's absolutely horrible. Let's see. I'm gonna just have my scout keep pushing forward.
This is GNN, Galactic News Network.
So every now and then you have these newsreels pop up.
The only network that tells you what you need to know.
Looks like there isn't anything interesting to note here yet, but they give rankings of all the players in the game every now and then, based on either military or any of the other characteristics. They also have certain events that they give you note of, like the first civilization to reach like 3, 5, 11, like those kind of milestones, amounts of colonies, they let you know. So there's a signal coming from here, so I'm gonna guess that that's a pirate planet.
Your fleet spots an abandoned.
Oh, we got 44
filled
credits
with rare
from the anomaly.
Displaying relevant information.
Thank you. Yeah, I figured this was the pirate planet. So I'm gonna just have my scout hop out of there, as it has no combat points whatsoever, so it will be absolutely destroyed by any ship with combat capabilities.
One unread notification.
Thank you. Let's see, so we can either go for the farms or for the research lab at this point. I'm gonna go for the farms first, because I would really like to get my growth going. Get maxed out on civilization points as quickly as possible. Also, the more people we have, the more colony ships and civil transports we will be able to build later on. Because colony ships and civil transports do actually cost one population in the city they were built in. So it's important to have at least a few planets after a while that have really like high growth rates, so you can use them to build to build population for your less habitable planets, because those grow very, very slowly. Alright, which should you go next? I think this direction is the best. Ooh, another signal. So that's either another civilization or... Ooh, it looks like it's a pirate planet as well. Got the frigate still. Let's see. I'll send him over here. And let's destroy these pirates. Very good. Scout this region.
One alert unattended.
Fleet needs orders, so I'm gonna set this ship to just defend over here.
The Sky Lord of the Alkari greets you, Wanderer.
So
I
we have
trust you have the wisdom to coexist with us.
almost interrupted him there. So we have met our first other civilization. This is actually, the Alkari are usually not too aggressive so long as you don't get too close to them. So that's actually good. They will not attack us without given reason. So that means we should be safe from them for at least the early game. New production needed. So this time we will go for the research laboratory. And after that I actually want to build a space factory. It's also a very important building. It will allow me to... you can build defensive positions on war points within systems you inhabit. So you no longer need a frigate there. The military base will just defend that war point from pirates or enemy civilizations. Now it will be overrun by an enemy fleet. But as pirates usually come with 1 or 2 ships, it will easily hold off pirates. Ooh, a swamp biome. It's large. This is actually a really good planet. Problem is that it's at least a few jump points away from like my main planets right now. It's definitely a good direction to start.
Pirates are natural and...
Thank you. Yeah, so like I said, this is a pirate world. So this would definitely be a good direction to expand in. If I can clear out this system from pirates. Or settle here, although none of these planets are actually good at all. So I might just settle here anyway, but it would be a kind of isolated position, so it would need a lot of help straight away. Ooh, and a toxic world. Alright, large and rich. So this is definitely a planet that is interesting to settle later on. When we can clear toxicity and when we have like terraforming, we can turn this into a really great planet. Let's see. So I'm gonna scout in this direction and see if I can find a homeworld of the Alkari. Oh, that's interesting.
You are now
Ooh.
before the hierarch of the Sacra Brood. Threaten not my progeny, and you and yours may live on.
So the Sacra Brood are really aggressive. The way to usually deal with them is that they will fall behind in technology quite heavily. So if you keep up your military technologies, you should be able to beat them just by sheer... because they will just have outdated equipment basically. Technological superiority will just be too much. But they will definitely build big fleets and they can really become a nuisance. So choose production in Meklar. Like I said, we will be going for the space factory right now. It's a really important strategic unit to have. And where to scout next. So I'm gonna complete the circle and... Well, actually one of my scouts is already heading here. So I might just move outwards then. Apologies. Another civilization.
Welcome, stranger. I am the Empress of the Mershan Pride. If you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours.
So the Martian Pride are another militaristic civilization. They especially get bonuses in ground warfare. So this could be interesting. We have quite a few warfaring civilizations or races or whatever in our game at the moment. So this could turn out to be an interesting one. Let's see, yeah, let's just scout right through this. I'm not gonna stay here for a while. So this would have been a pretty nice starting position compared to where we started, because you have your back against the edge of the universe, or the galaxy, I should say. So it becomes a little bit easier to expand, whereas we are right in the middle. So it becomes, actually, we can expand quicker because there's more options, but it's harder to defend, right? This is actually the tactical screen. You can do everything from this position if you want, but I prefer to be a little bit more zoomed in. So you just get out of there, start looking over here. So I think very soon I'm just gonna set my scouts to auto-explore. And then if they run into trouble, that's just too bad. Alright, production. So we got colonial service, or colonial revenue service from our last research. Will give us 1 credit per population, so that's just very good. Will give us 9 credits just in this planet. And then we got the factory, so it's gonna go over here first. Like I suspected, it's a gas giant. We can actually build a mine there that will give us 5 credits per turn. So the gas giant won't be completely useless at this point in the game. But what's more interesting is that later you can actually compress it into a real planet. One you can settle.
Loading hints.
Ooh, an ocean biome. Also a medium world. So usually the bigger a world, the better it is to colonize, because you can always upgrade it into a better biome later. But as far as I know, and I might not have played far enough into the game, as I did pick up this game relatively recently, but as far as I can tell, you can't actually upgrade the size of a planet. And if you can, that would be something that happens really late game. Let's see. Let's go over here. Yeah, so I'm gonna set this scout to just auto-explore. It's getting a bit tiresome to control it. Let's look over here, and I think I'm gonna have this frigate head home at this point, so it's closer to my home systems, where it can actually help defend when necessary. I've scouted enough around me to know where I would like to settle my next few settlements, so that's okay. So I'm definitely gonna send a colony ship over to this planet, and then I definitely want to try to pick up this one, and I probably would have to send at least a few frigates to accompany that one to make sure it's safe, because of its proximity to one of the other species in the game. So yeah, the pirates aren't a really big threat if you have military units in place to defend. But sometimes when you're stretched a bit thin and they get in between the lines, they can really wreak havoc on unprotected systems and unprotected worlds. So let's see, there's not that much interesting. So I think I'm just gonna weave in a colony ship in my production before the next things are done. And let's see, I'm going to set this one to auto-explore as well, so it will just auto-explore this region by itself.
Welcome to GNN.
Gigantic space dragon has been discovered.
Do not panic, but long-range scanners have...
So I wonder where. Oh, it would probably show me. No, that's just a pirate fleet. It must be somewhere over here, because it's usually only when you discover it that it shows you like this. I can't spot it yet. It's really a fun thing actually that they've put into this game, where in some systems there's like giant monsters lurking. You really need quite a big fleet to take them out. So in the early game you just cannot settle that that system. So my factory is going to build a military outpost right here. So in 10 turns that will be done, and I can have my I can free up this frigate that has been over here and send it somewhere else. Deep space exploration continued. So this is research that will actually allow you civil transport. It also allows a colony base to be produced, which just gives you 1 bonus food basically. So now we're going to go into private funding, which will help with extra research and extra production. And then after that we will see where we need to go next. So the one thing that this game has against it, I guess, is that every now and then it feels a bit slow, right? There's not that much happening and you're kind of skipping through turns every now and then. Just like now, there's not that much to do. I'm just waiting for the next things to be done. So in that regard, the game is a little like they could have filled it up a little bit more, making you feel less like you're just skipping through turns. And my frigate just defend over here for now. Probably will send it to this system soon, because it will have to escort my colony ship. Actually, I will do that now.
I suggest you consider this offer carefully.
So they want a shared charge, which is pretty good. I will actually accept. That saves me a lot of exploration. So when you share charge, you basically, well, as you guys can guess probably, you just share the information you have. So I get to see everywhere where they have been and the planets that they have scanned, like what kind of planets they are and everything. And in this game what I found actually, which I thought was quite interesting, is that... Let's buy this. I actually should have bought this earlier, I think. I was a little bit distracted. In this game actually, when you decline the offer of a... now they want to share charge as well now. We'll accept. When you decline the offer of an enemy AI,
Galactic News Network,
gigantic space eel. We'll try to find this once, just so I can show you guys. I want to finish my train of thought for now. So when you decline the offer of a AI, it will actually deteriorate the relationships between them. It will go 1 step down. So that's an important thing to take into consideration. Every now and then a deal might not mean that much to you. So it's better to just take it if you take into consideration the fact that they will get pissed off if you decline it. Let's see, I can't seem to find the space eel either. Might be right in front of me. I think it should be somewhere around here, otherwise why would I get the message pop up every time? Really don't see it. Must be another AI that is finding them. It's too bad because they look really fun and would like to show you guys. Oh, we'll have an opportunity later, I'm sure. So choose production. Let's build an automated factory to get some extra production going. Just quick buy it. Kind of see if we can get this colony rolling quickly. And then after that I'm gonna save credits again, because this planet will need a lot more help to get started than the Terran world will. Like the Terran biome will actually grow relatively quickly. Again? Really? Fine by me. I haven't really discovered anything new, I don't think.
GNN, Galactic News Network.
The Silicoid Crag has grown in strength.
Alright, so one of the civilizations has been the first to reach 3 planets. And that's good to know for us, because they definitely are the first to do so, and we are about to do the same. After like 2 turns we will have our next colony ship. So that means we're not too far behind the curve. And we could actually check out the path to victory, see how we're doing. So we're ahead in the economic victory. The GGP share is 14% at the moment. We're kind of keeping up in technology. It's also important to do that. We have 7 at the moment, so that's pretty good. Our military score is okayish with 4th. The Sakura are actually not expanding their military that much, as are the merchants, so that's good for us to know, because that means they won't probably attack us soon. We're actually tied for first place in the diplomatic victory as well, with 13 votes. Wow, that word was hard for some reason. With 13 votes for each of us, for the Alkari and us. Oh, I'm sorry, we're actually very much below in the conquest score. For some reason I mixed these up. So yeah, as you can see, the Mercian are actually already at 10,000 points, where we are only at 5,000. So that's something to keep in mind. For now we're far enough away from everybody that they won't attack us, but definitely something we need to keep an eye on. You kind of want to keep on par with them at least a little bit, because that will dissuade them from just attacking you. Pirate fleet detected. No, that one will just be held up by our base. So the space factory, I'm actually gonna construct some gas extraction at Meklar Prime. I don't know why this is Prime and this is Meklar 2, even though Meklar 2 is our home world. It seems strange.
You've got mail.
So we have a colony ship again, send it over here. Choose production. So there's nothing much to produce right now, so there's 2 options. I could build a few more frigates, which I really would like to do actually at the moment. Or I could build a civil transport, which would help our colony out. I'm gonna go for a few frigates actually until the next until private funding finishes, at which point we will have buildings to build. You can just go and defend this. And so Astro Belts, you can also build either a laboratory or a trading post, which will give you +2 science or +2 gold. And then later in the game you can actually build planets at asteroid rings, which makes them really valuable. Because so far I think, unless I just have been very lucky, if you construct a planet from a gas giant or an asteroid belt, it's always a huge planet. It will start off as barren though, which is a really bad biome, but with a bit of terraforming it can really become great. It will take a long time though, but in the end usually most of these planets by the late game will be huge or giant sites with a really good biome. So I think this frigate can go over here and just guard for now. Let's see, new production. Let's build another frigate. I'm just gonna collect like I think 3 frigates over here, so I have a little bit of a fleet that can respond to enemy actions. And then I'm kind of hoping, because the Sakura are the closest to me, but they're also very close to the Alkari. So I'm hoping that these 2 races, which can be kind of aggressive, both of them, will go into war with each other, which will give me a little bit of free reign. Because the merchants aren't that close to me, so I'm not too worried about them yet. And we'll definitely have to go to war with them as well, because with a little bit of expanding of both of us, we will be at each other's throats anyway. Let's see, you just colonize this world. So I do think this little sequence before you enter a planet is a really nice touch, as well as it's really beautifully done. So growth will be substantially slower here. Like on the Terran planet it was +5 in the first with the first population. Here it's only +3. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But we can actually buy a farm straight away, which will help. Yes, you will build me a harvester, which will give us an extra +5 credit. And at that point we will actually have pretty great economy for this time in the game. We'll be able to rush quite a few buildings.
The combine has been successfully upgraded.
Great. Alright, let's open the technology tree and see what we want next. So I definitely want to keep expanding early on, and I basically want to focus on expanding and improving the planets we do have. So I think we're gonna go to genetic mutations, at least. This will give us a lot of food buildings, like the fungal farms, which are only good on worlds that aren't that great at growing, but it will help our tundra world a little bit. Then we have xenobionics, which can give us either +1 food per cell or deep sea cooling, which is extra science. So yeah, this seems to me this is kind of the way to go. Cloning center. So there's a lot of good things here. Let's see, advanced data center, definitely. Get that extra research going. And so for now that's not a very powerful building because it gives us +1 science per cell. We're only working 3 at the moment. Cells are basically the things you can put population units in. But as soon as we've completely grown, so in 2 more population, we will not have to have as many people in food anymore. So we can divide them between science and construction. And at that point the upgrade per cell will actually be pretty valuable. So let's see, next thing will be automated factory to get a little bit of production going in the colony. 400, yeah, that's not gonna happen soon, but then again, these kind of colonies really don't grow fast unless you send like a fleet of civil transports over there. Let's see, what do we build here? I think we start with the research laboratory. And so morale is only at 70% over here, which will mean that not every one of our population units will be working. So about 30% of them will be on strike usually. So at the moment we don't have a problem yet because we don't have enough population units to meet the threshold where that happens. But in the future, when that does happen, we need to start building like marine barracks, which increase morale, and the government support facility, which increases morale. So we can slowly get morale near 100 and kind of alleviate the morale disadvantages. Dorado discovered. That's interesting. So there are some kind of systems that have like specialties. So there's the Orion system in most games. I think in all games actually. So it's named after the game, Master of Orion. It has a huge like space monster that's defending a really good planet. So it's really nice to settle. And I think it's linked to one of the victory conditions, so I'm not sure about that. Another frigate, just defend over there. So with me building a few more frigates, I'm basically still at the bottom. So this is definitely something we might need to improve. On the other hand though, I think going down the bottom path, like engineering, will give me a destroyer class ship, right? And then when I go for planetology, I will also get advanced engineering, which will give us the cruiser class ship. So from this point on, like, cruisers are really good. Here you have troop transports, which will be only relevant when you want to invade other worlds. But like cruisers are really the backbone of a fleet, and it becomes much later into like Astra engineering when you get the next like battleship ship design. So like once you have cruisers, you're basically able to defend yourself pretty well. It's the biggest like early game ship you can get, and it really lasts a while until you get a better platform for your ships. And then I actually haven't really explored the late game ships, but I think there's a better one out here somewhere still. Yeah, way over here, the Doomstar. Is that it? I thought there was one more, but I might be mistaken. Advanced colony ships, not what we're looking for. No, so I think that's it. So after the battleship you can build Doomstars, but that's basically it. So when you have the cruiser, after that it basically comes down to having the necessary weapon technology. So all of these things have like weapon technologies that you can upgrade your ships with. So then that becomes the most deciding factor, but that's a little bit easier to overcome than just being outclassed with just ship design. And we have our first pollution case, so we can show that off. So when you are producing stuff, you pollute your planet. When you get over a certain pollution level, you actually get extra pollution, and it starts hurting I think the growth rate and eventually also the production rate of your planet. So I think we're just gonna finish the advanced data center, and after that we're gonna dedicate a few turns to pollution cleanup. I think that's a really nice touch in this game, that you can't just abuse the planet that you're on. You actually have to take into account that you're not destroying the environment on it. So this space factory will actually start building a few defensive positions over here.
Displaying relevant information.
And it will definitely build a laboratory over here. I might actually skip the defensive positions because I do actually have a frigate in this system. So it's not especially necessary. So I'm really wondering if there's something special to find in the Dorado system, or the Dorado system. So far it has one good planet. It's not too special actually. I'm gonna assume that most planets here are mineral rich though. No, this one is just abundant. This one is gold, but that's not too special either actually. Interesting, it's actually not too special of a system. Okay, so I will lose one of my scouts here. It ran into a pirate. Too bad. Usually don't tend to worry too much about that. So let's see, I definitely don't want anybody into research here yet, because it's just more important to me to get the colony going. Let's see, let's build a starbase actually, so it will be able to defend itself. Now let's go for Colonial Revenue Service first. This planet is really in a pretty safe position at the moment, so it's not necessary to build a starbase yet. Okay, go back to auto exploring. And I am gonna wrap up this episode relatively soon. I'm going for about 40 minutes at the moment. I usually tend to keep my episodes under an hour, because otherwise I find it just gets a bit too long. So we need new production here, so we're just gonna do a little bit of pollution cleanup for now. And I have 2 frigates over here. I'm thinking about sending them to this pirate position and just finding out which planet is the pirate planet and blockading it for a bit. You can construct. I think I'm gonna go for the asteroid laboratory, because 2 credits per turn is really not something I need right now. I can actually buy the production here. So now we can choose new production. So now we actually have +2 production here as well, so we can at least slowly build towards certain things, which will be biospheres for now for the extra food. So let's see, we're still up to par with the technological victory. We're in at 10 technologies, which is where a few of them are. And you can already see like the Merchants and the chakra falling behind. And so as long as we can stay kind of alive, so to speak, until a little bit later, then we will be technologically far enough ahead that they, even if they have a little bit more conquest power, we should be able to beat them. We're actually doing well in the diplomatic victory, and I have no idea still how these votes count, because I've never gone for a diplomatic victory yet. And I haven't been far enough into the game to actually have these votes count ever. And we're doing well in the economic victory, so we know that our economy is rolling around pretty nicely. Score-wise, we're second, so that's pretty good. None of the other races we've met so far are ahead of us. They want to share charts again, which I will accept. And I just noticed a space eel, so I will show off that to you guys.
Overseer, this one.
So, right in this system you have a giant space eel, right? So, there's an offensive rating of 256, a defensive rating of 137. And just to compare that to a frigate which has 8 and 10. So these are really powerful beings that basically prohibit any kind of colonization or even scouting of this system in the early game, which I think is a nice touch. It kind of curbs expansion a little bit, and it means that some certain points in the galaxy are only accessible later on. So how's pollution doing here? So I think I will do like 2 more turns of pollution cleanup, and then I will start building other stuff again. And in 10 turns this planet will actually be at maximum population. So I might actually take the time and build another colony ship. Choose new production over here. We will go with a government support facility. Hopefully that will alleviate the striking population for now. And I'm thinking about sending my frigates over to this planet and then colonizing this one as well. And I will have to need a pretty large fleet standing by at all times there, because the chakra are not going to be happy about that at all. But it is a good planet, and it's definitely a good key point to defend against the chakra. If I can build 2 defensive points over here and then just have a good fleet nearby, should be able to hold that for quite a while. Let's see. I don't really need defensive points over here because I have my frigate. I'm thinking about building a defensive point over here just for the hell of it. The point with defensive points is they cost 1 command point. And command points are basically how big your fleet can go. For each command point that you go over the ones that you have, I think you have to pay like 10 credits per turn or even 20. So that's a really big strain on your economy. So it's important to not build too many offensive or defensive positions with the military outposts, because they soak up command points that you might rather use on your fleet. And as you build more colonies, you get more command points though. So 11% pollution is good enough. So I could do an atmospheric renewer, which will make pollution decline by 25%, so it will make the planet cleaner in its pollution. But for now I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna go with a colony ship. And I might want to build a few destroyers soon, because these are pretty powerful units. But for now a colony ship is fine. Make sure we get that expansion going. And I'm actually thinking about expanding here first, because there's no telling at what point the chakra themselves will try to take this. So I might go here first and then colonize this little gem later. Yeah, I still need to decide what I want to do with you. For now, not that much actually. I do want him over here. Yes, let's actually do that. It should be relatively safe, and I will just send you over there as well. And then that should be fine. There we go. Yeah, I'm actually gonna end this episode right here because I've been going on for almost 50 minutes at this point. And I think this is a pretty good point to cut off. So just, to end the episode, let's have a look. Still ahead in the economic victory and the diplomatic victory, which is pretty good. Still keeping up with the technological advancements. And we're doing pretty good in score as well. So thank you guys for watching this. I hope you will enjoy this series. It will just be one quick playthrough of this game, I think. I don't think I will make this into a game I will do a lot of Let's Plays of. But I just wanted to show it off because I think it's one of the better space-related strategy games out there. So I hope you guys will agree, give this game a chance, and I hope you will enjoy this Let's Play. For now I'm out, and I hope to see you guys next time.